Kinfolk, what's going on, royal family? Hope you're having a good one. I'm your host, MODISE The High King, and if you're new, melanated gods of earth, if you're new to my page, make sure you head on over to my channel and you enjoy the vibe. Smash the subscribe, let the algorithm know it's good, the thumbs up, let other like-minded souls know that we're out here. Should the video be worth something to you, royal family? Today's video, we want to touch more upon the situation pertaining to South Africa's relationship with Israel as they continue to engage in atrocities against the people of Palestine, committing genocide against Gaza. Political parties call for expulsion of Israel ambassador to SA, South Africa, because he has been making some inflammatory statements towards our minister, Naledi Pandor, a lady who does not mince her words when it comes to people who disrespect South Africa and Africa in general. She doesn't play games, real fam. But let's get into today's clip, see what it's all about.
The ANC is calling for an expulsion of the ambassador of Israel instead of a demarche. Please tell us why.
The situation demands of us to react decisively. There is no retreat from the Israeli government. Bombing of refugee camps, bombing of hospitals, all of that is happening right now. So the action we're calling for is informed by the events on the ground. And we've got to be decisive in expressing our solidarity. Actually, for the isolation of the Israeli apartheid state. What is happening there is not war, it is genocide. It's the killing of innocent people, and that's what is happening there.
And it's insane to me how, as they continue to commit these crimes, family, they actually believed that they were going to get away with it, or there were going to be international support, as if no one knows the history behind Israel and how they came to be as a false state. Colonizer, settler state. They invaded in the 1940s. They cooked up all sorts of narratives, Zionist supremacist narratives, supported by the international community in the system of white supremacy, allowing them to lay claim to the land of the Palestinians so that the so-called people of God can have a homeland. And we have shared previous videos, family, where we've expressed or explained that the so-called homeland of theirs would have almost been in Africa. In Kenya, for example, how the British went about choosing a random, and then they eventually settled on the land of Palestine. So we cover this topic so we can keep up to date in terms of how far the international white supremacist regimes are willing to go to justify their claim to people's lands and aid and abet in the committing of atrocities. It's crazy stuff. Because as we as African countries begin to emancipate ourselves from our former colonizers, whether it be the French, the Germans, or the British, or the American corporations, we must know what to expect, because they have way too many military bases on this land for it to be anything other than an occupying force. Protecting Western interests in Africa? They have no interest in Africa, fam. But let's pay it more attention.
So the government ordered a demarche, and what are you doing as the ANC?
We are very much encouraged by our government stance, and including the actions that have been taken of demarche. We believe as the time goes, we need to be taking more action in relation to what is happening there. We support Minister Naledi Pandor. We support our government, and we say hands off Naledi Pandor. Our government stands for justice, peace between the Palestinians and the Israeli people. A two-state solution is our position, and that is what we are about as the African National Congress.
Thank you.
Now, if you're wondering what a demarche is, allow me to enlighten you real quick. political step or initiative, which is a short example. But ultimately, a démarche, a course of action, maneuver, a diplomatic or political initiative or maneuver, a petition or protest presented through diplomatic channels. So, on one hand, they were saying that our government should let them know through diplomatic channels that we're not in support of their actions, and we are officially protesting as a country that they are to cease and desist their crimes against humanity, and we will take legal action on the international level if necessary. But of course, our political parties here are saying, nope, that's not enough. We must expel the ambassador of Israel. We must isolate Israel as a country, because crimes against humanity in this modern day era will not be tolerated and must not be tolerated. So as we've been covering the topics between the situation in Congo as it sustains international community's tech industries and the potential business interests that will come from expelling the Palestinians from their land and removing them from locations. We must pay attention to these things in the neo-colonial struggle, family, because they're out here and they're doing their thing.
Sheikh. And now we have Sheikh Imam, leader of the NFP in Parliament. Sheikh, you guys are saying that an immediate cessation of hostilities. Please talk to us about that.
Yes, very good afternoon to all our viewers out there. Yes, indeed, as the NFP, about 2 weeks ago, we already submitted a motion for shutting down the embassy in South Africa and expelling the Israeli ambassador. That's number one. And not only recalling for discussion our ambassador in Israel, but to shut it down completely until such time Israel is willing to come, not to sit and negotiate. There's no more negotiation. Many agreements have been entered into over the last number of years, and so all we're asking them to do is to implement them. Remember, the Palestinians have been there for thousands of years, okay? But yet, despite you coming there, removing them forcefully, taking what is rightfully there, what are the Palestinians saying? We are still willing to work with you to live side by side on a two-state solution. In South Africa, we were not willing to have that, so we got our freedom. But the Palestinians are even willing to compromise for a two-state solution. But what is Israel doing? Continuing with the bombings. Can you imagine? There's 500 babies at any given time waiting to be born, dying before they are actually born, only because you've cut off the electricity and you're not allowing their nesting. Mothers are dying, babies are dying. You are now want to get rid of everybody in Gaza. What is the reason for that? Because of the amount, the abundance of gas that has been found in Gaza. That is one of the major problems. This war is all about natural resources.
Family, and the images have been so devastating. People pulling youngling after youngling from rubble, laying them side by side. Just sad. Just absolutely sad. And a person was caught on hot mic. I don't know if I have the clip. Let me see if I do. A person was caught on a hot mic saying that they will not stop until all the peoples of Gaza have been erased. Let me have a quick look-see. But yeah, let's continue with this.
Remember the Russia and Ukraine war. What is it doing? It's restricting the supply to Europe, and they don't have it. And when they established and identified gas in Gaza, this is when it all started. And the countries that are supporting this is because each and every one of them, remember, these countries where there's chaos, they are in the forefront. Where there's disease, they benefit. Where there's war, they benefit. War is a business. So all they are trying to do is to remove the people of Gaza completely so that they can have that Gaza, which has got abundance of gas. And I'm advised it's about 300 years supply of gas available there. And this is what it is. But what we are saying is, why not a ceasefire? Israel is saying again and again, we are not willing to have a ceasefire. Let's look at the propaganda that has been promoted all over the media, particularly the mainstream media. They said that Hamas has been beheading children, babies. The report has now come out with all the evidence that not a single baby has been beheaded. And Hamas has not been killing any civilians. All those that have died, most of them were killed by the Israeli Defense Force because of the Israeli principle of what? The principle that if you, instead of you being taken as a hostage, we must rather kill you. And that's basically what they've done. If you heard what the Jewish lady said very clearly, that we were fine, we were treated very humanely by Hamas until the Israeli Defense Force came here. And when they came here unannounced and attacked, that's when our people have actually died. So from the 40 some odd babies that they talking about, it's now come down to one. And that baby was not even beheaded. Now they are looking at how did that baby die. So you can look at the propaganda that's going on. This is not nothing about religion. It's political parties and politicians that cause the chaos all over the world, even in our own country. I'm not asking anybody to look at anything else, but look at the number of innocent babies that are dying. Look at the innocent women that are dying.
And the numbers are extraordinary, family. Extraordinary. 10,000 plus. 10,000 plus. And I've just found the clip I was referring to earlier. And I will share it in a moment.
What more do you want? Why can't we sit down at a table and find solution? And you can see by the number of Jewish and Christians, even in Israel, who had their rights violated by the same Israeli Zionist government. And they are in support of the Palestine as a whole. So why would they want to support the Palestinian cause if the Palestinians had not treated them well? You will hear rabbi after rabbi, pastor after pastor, reverend after reverend saying that and Jews all over the world telling you for thousands of years that they lived there. They lived in harmony alongside the Muslims, Christians and the Jews. So this is a war that is being created by a handful of them. And I want to say this without any fear or favor. Unless we deal with the devils of this world like the United States, the UK, who has created the state of Israel, together with
Receipts, family.
Love, that of the dove, has finally been set free, cosmically, you see. Entering the earth domain, once again to rule as love, as king. The game has truly begun. Let love be. Ashe? Ashe.
Ashe. Royal family, Ashe. If you appreciate the video, let me know in the comments below what you think, and I will see you in the next one. Stay royal, stay blessed. Royal family, I'm your host, MODISE The High King. Peace.